ended up calling the press that were there in a hostile environment scum. So there you go. The hypocrisy, Mika, over a misstatement by Joe Biden, which he quickly corrected, is so laughable because this guy does this every day. And then you turn on Fox News and go, oh, how could anybody do this? I've never seen this before from a press. Despite the fact one of the people saying that yesterday on Fox News stood by while Donald Trump watched violence erupt on January the 6th and kept allowing violence to erupt on January the 6th and said the people that were beating the hell out of cops were patriots. So yes. Willie, the gaslighting never ends. They really do think that their voters are that stupid. And it makes me sad for those voters that Donald Trump and people on TV, on other channels, really think Americans are that dumb.
Oh, the sound of defeat. I didn't know Joe Scarborough sounds like Elmo whenever he's losing. I mean, keep in mind, gang, this is the same guy who told us right before the Biden debate that this was the best Biden ever. Do you remember that? The most cogent, the most sharp. Yeah, that's him trying to sell his rapidly dwindling audience more snake oil, more copium. Sorry, Joe, you ain't getting out of this one. We're now getting reports that the Kamala campaign is unraveling internally. Insiders are now saying that there is palpable panic among the collapsing Kamala campaign, and for good reason. We got the latest data that's coming in hot and heavy on the state of the election, and I'm going to show you exactly why Kamala's people are getting so panicked. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So you know what to do. Make sure you smack that bell and subscribe button. With just 5 days to go, you are not going to want to miss a single video analyzing the state of this race. Also, I want everyone to know that if you are finding yourself in the painful position of owing back taxes, we've got some patriots here that are ready to help. As I'm sure you know, the IRS is currently on its way to making everyone pay up. They've hired thousands of new agents and sent over 5 million pay-up letters in 2024 alone. But if you're dealing with that mess, I want to connect you with a real, tangible solution. Don't give up your rights or deal with the IRS alone. You know they're not your friend. Let Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, save you the time and money you deserve to keep. They've saved Americans, get this, over $1 billion, that's billion with a B, in back taxes, and have the skills needed to secure you the best possible deal. From a few $1,000s to $10 million, business to personal taxes, let Tax Network USA restore your good standing so you could strengthen your financial foundation. When your situation is secure, you become the pillar of strength our nation needs. Click on that link below or call 1-800-245-6000. That's 1-800-245-6000 for a private, free consultation, or visit them at tnusa.com/Turley. So here we are 5 days out, and to be blunt, things ain't looking good for Kamala. There's an old adage here that every election basically has the results baked into the cake weeks prior to the actual election. Political analysts pretty much know who's going to win several weeks out by all the predictive indicators pointing in a single direction. We certainly knew it, for example, back in 2008. And some of the better analysts that we follow on this channel, they all saw it in 2016 as well, as did we. I started this channel. Get this, gang. You're going to love this. I started this channel 8 years ago tomorrow. Can you believe that? November 1st, 2016, when I posted 7 videos in a row, each day leading up to the November 8th election, and I made the extended argument that Trump was going to win. And my argument was that the same political realignment that we saw with the Brexit referendum that was able to put the Brexit referendum over the top, as it were, that same political realignment was happening right here in the United States, particularly with the realignment of the working class defecting over to Trump en masse. And those same dynamics were going to put Trump over the top. This was going to be our Brexit election. And I thought about this, how election results are basically baked into the cake several weeks out, when I came across this retweet from Elon. He said that back in 2020, every independent voter he knew was voting for Biden, including himself, right? Elon has admitted he voted for Biden back in 2020. Every independent voter he knew was voting for Biden. Now, every independent voter he knows is voting Trump. Now, that's what we call a predictive indicator. It's an indicator of election momentum that's so huge for voter turnout. We've got the numbers on that, which we'll look at momentarily. But there is also another indicator, the opposite indicator, a negative indicator in terms of who's losing. And that, of course, are reports of disarray and dissent and depression coming from inside a campaign, which is exactly what the Daily Mail is reporting about Kamala. The report begins by pointing out that Harris has lost literally all the momentum that the media tried to drum up for her, and she now is the first Democrat officially to be losing to Trump in the RCP polling aggregate, which averages out all the polls. Biden, just to put this in context, Biden had a 7-point lead at this time in 2020. Hillary's lead was collapsing. She fell from about a 5-point lead down to just over a 2 to 3 point lead in the final days before the election 2016. Kamala's already behind. Kamala's already collapsed. She is suffering a worse poll collapse than Hillary. She, of course, had the disastrous Bret Baier interview on Fox. She had that disastrous CNN town hall. She got completely eclipsed by Trump with his amazing interview with Joe Rogan, seen by tens of millions. And now, of course, Biden's garbage comment, the new deplorables flub. So Harris has been a walking PR nightmare for the last couple of weeks. And according to this report, it's starting to take its toll inside her campaign. Here is what one campaign insider reportedly had to say, quote, "Yes, it's close, but are things trending our way? No. And no one wants to openly admit that. Could we still win? Maybe. Should anyone be even slightly optimistic right now? No." You see, gang, this is why Joe Scarborough is freaking out. He knows this. He reads The Hill. That's where this report originally came from. He knows things are unraveling inside the fledgling Kamala campaign. And again, it's another indicator, a negative indicator that suggests the current state of the race. And it's only getting worse the more we see the positive indicators. So that said, 5 days out, what are we seeing? What are they seeing? What is the Kamala campaign seeing that's getting them so demoralized? Well, I want you to take a couple of steps back. I want to give you sort of a big picture analysis of the state of this race. Back in 2020, when all is said and done, the lowest hanging fruit, as it were, back in 2020, Biden won Arizona by 10,000. He won Georgia by 10,000. And he won Wisconsin by 20,000. Okay. 40,000 votes separated President Trump from victory. That's it. That's it in 2020. So 10,000 in Arizona, 10,000 in Georgia, 20,000 in Wisconsin. How are we doing now? Well, let's start in Arizona. Now, again, Biden won Arizona by 10,000 votes in 2020. Take a look at where things stand now. It's now Republicans with 155,000 vote lead. I want that to hit you. I also want it to hit you. They never once led in early voting in 2020, ever. They are now up by over 155,000. In other words, they're seeing Biden's hand in 2020 and they're raising him another 100, as it were. If current trends continue, we could be looking at Trump pulling off a 300,000 vote win in Arizona. How's that for stuffing 2020, down a well? I don't know. So Arizona is gone. By the way, how about neighboring Nevada? Just a little aside there. Very interesting. Biden won Nevada by 2.5 in 2020. No Republican has won Nevada since 2004. Right now, as we speak, Republicans are now leading the early vote in Nevada with 43,000 votes, and they keep going up. And by the way, reports are independents are swinging way to the right in Nevada. At the current rate, if the trends continue as they have, and there are no signs that they're changing, Trump is poised to pull off a win of about 20,000 votes when the Democrats come out on Election Day. So Arizona's gone. And it looks increasingly like Nevada's gone. That's just a little extra sugar on your dessert. But what about Georgia? Well, the problem with Georgia is that Georgia they don't track partisan breakdown in their early votes. So we don't know how many Republicans are voting versus Democrats. But with Georgia, we have a really interesting and very reliable bellwether in the form of Duval County in the northeast of Florida, where wherever Duval goes, Georgia goes electorally. So including 2020, by the way, Duval County went for Biden by about a point. And of course, Georgia went for Biden by 10,000 votes. Georgia always votes a little bit to the right of Duval, but they tend to parallel each other every election over the last few decades. As we speak, Duval's early vote is clocking in at Republican +4. A near +4 for Republicans. Trump is going to win Duval no problem at this point. And so it's no coincidence that one of the last polls we're getting on Georgia, a Rasmussen poll, thank you, Mark Mitchell, is Trump up by 5. What do we say about Georgia? It always votes slightly to the right of Duval. Duval's up around 4. And what do you know? Trump is up now around 5 in Georgia. So it looks like Arizona is gone. We're adding a little Nevada, a little sugar to that. It looks like that's gone. We don't need Nevada, but it looks like we're getting it. It's coming along. And now Georgia is gone. So now we go to Wisconsin. Remember, 20,000 votes, 2020. That's all that separated Trump from victory in Wisconsin. Here's where it all comes down to, gang, when all's said and done. Here's the election in a nutshell. The Harris campaign is hoping beyond hope, that 20,000 vote margin will hold, even though, as we have seen, the polls have all shifted 4 to 6 points to the right. So I'll say that again. The Harris campaign is banking all their hopes, since they've lost Arizona, they've lost Georgia, they are banking all their hopes in holding on to Biden's 20,000 vote win in Wisconsin, even though all the polls nationally and statewide have shifted 4 to 6 points to Trump. So now you can see why they're flipping out inside the Kamala campaign. They know this. They know this. Now you can see why they're the ones who are dooming. Right now, as things stand, this election comes down to whether a 20,000 vote margin from 2020 can withstand a 4 to 6 point shift in Trump's favor. It couldn't in Nevada. It couldn't in Arizona. It couldn't in Georgia. And I don't think it's going to happen in Wisconsin. But we'll see. 5 days out, gang. That's the election as I see it. 5 days out, make sure you are doing absolutely everything you possibly can to get yourself and your loved ones to the polls, particularly in swing states. If we do that, the Kamala collapse will finally be complete.